Today we're going to work on our foldable for area. So for this foldable that you're going to do today is the G for geometry, so you're going to color it green. So go ahead and color your title green now. Okay, so I need two other colors to color the rest of my foldable. So for the square, knowing that all sides are equal, I'm going to get one color and I'm just going to outline each side of my square the same color. Okay, on the rectangle, I'm going to take that one color and outline the opposite sides because they're the same length. So those are going to be this pinkish red color, and then I'm going to take a different color and I'm going to color those parallel sides the same color. Okay, again on, and this is going to represent the base and the height. So on your parallelogram, what I want you to do is I want you to get one color and you're going to color the base a color, and then you're going to also color, and I know this is not perfect, I'm doing it kind of quickly, the opposite parallel side, another color. The height, I'm going to go ahead and draw this for you, but we'll talk about it whenever we go over our examples. Your height is going to be drawn like this. And we're going to label that height. So let's go back. Remember, this is a side. This right here is the length. This one is the width. And then on the parallelogram, this is our base. And this is our height. And all this will make more sense whenever we work our examples together. And then I want you to draw that 90-degree angle box right here. This is forming a 90-degree angle. Okay, on the triangle, we're going to color the base the same color to get your whatever color you have been using for your base, color it that color, and then the height will be your other color. I'm going to label that base, and I'm going to turn my paper sideways. Oops. Not height. Okay, now let's look at the trapezoid. So on the trapezoid, you need three colors. You have a base 1 and a base 2 plus your height. So for my base 1, I'm going to keep that same red color I've been using. And I'm going to label it base 1. I'm going to take a different color. I'm using green. And I'm going to label this base 2. I'm going to take my height color and I'm going to draw a line that makes it perpendicular to the base. Remember, if something's perpendicular, that means it's forming a 90-degree angle. So here's my height. And then for the compound figure, we're going to actually color in the two separate figures. So on this compound figure, we have a rectangle and a triangle. So I'm going to take this rectangle and I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to take my triangle. I'm going to color that in a different color. And I'm going to label this rectangle and triangle. so go ahead and pause the video, and what I want you to do is cut out your shape. So remember, we always cut on the bold, so you're actually going to cut all of this out, and then we're going to glue it in our notebook together. So pause the video now and get all of our shapes cut out. Okay, so I went ahead and cut all of these out and glued them back in like it was on my paper to begin with. So all you have to do is you're going to put glue on the back side where the word is. Okay, so we're going to start with find an area of a square. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your pencil and I want you to outline the square. So when you lift it up, you can see the square image. Okay, so for the formula for area of a square is area equals S squared. Now we can do side squared because we know that on a square, all sides are equal. So at the top up here is where we're going to write our example. I'm going to write it in pen so you can see it a little better. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little square. And one side is 3.5 centimeters. Now, remember, we've talked about this before. When I'm finding the area, I'm going to say 3.5 times 3.5 because that's my side squared. So area equals 3.5 squared. So 3.5 times 3.5 would be 12 1/4 because 3 times 3.5 times 3.5 is 12 1/4. Now, for the centimeters, remember we cannot multiply a centimeter times a centimeter without representing anything other than just centimeters squared. So that's going to be centimeters squared. Okay, so for this one, my answer is area equals 12 1/4 squared centimeters. Because we can change this to an improper fraction. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 2 times 7 over 2 gives you 12 1/4 after you simplify it. Okay, so let's look at the next example, the rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. And my example on this one is 9 7/10 feet times 3 2/10 feet. So again, to find area, all you have to do is multiply length times width. Area equals length times width. So I'm going to multiply 9.7 times 3.2. So whenever you multiply 9.7 times 3.2, you get area equals 31.04 feet squared. Because remember, we're multiplying a foot times a foot, so that's going to give me feet squared. Anytime you're doing area, you always have to put that unit squared. Okay, parallelogram. And I know I'm rushing through this, and if I was here with you, we would be going over this a lot more in depth. But I'm trying to just quickly get this done so you'll have examples and then you can go work on your practice problems. Okay, so on this parallelogram you have base times a height. So let me draw my example. My base is 9 3/4 yard and my height is 6 yards. Now, on your examples, you're going to see all of this is going to be given to you. It's going to have your base down here, and it's going to have your height. Now, for your height, it's always going to run perpendicular to the base. So, in order for something to be perpendicular, that means it has to form a right 90-degree angle. So, by seeing this little square right here, I know that forms a 90-degree angle. And this dotted line is another giveaway. So this is the height right here. So I'm going to multiply my base times my height. Area equals base times height. So base is 9 3/4 times 6. Okay, well I have a mixed number times a whole number. Okay, so we're going to change this mixed number to a whole number. So 9 3/4. Whenever I do that, I'm going to get 39 over 4. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 3 is 39, times 6 over 1, because I have a whole number, so I'm going to put a 1 as my denominator. Now I'm going to simplify. What is a common factor that I can divide 4 and 6 both by? And that would be 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. So 39 times 3 is 117. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I have to divide and simplify. How many times will 2 go into 117? Well, 2 goes into 11 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Minus 1, bring down my 7. 2 goes into 17 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16 with a remainder of 1. So when I write my new fraction, I'm going to get 58 1/2. So my area is 58 1/2 yards squared. Okay, going on to the triangle. Go ahead and trace out your triangle. Now, for the area of a triangle, it's a little different. You've got 1/2 base times height. So area equals 1/2 base times height, or you can say base times height divided by 2, because we know that if we multiply by 1/2 and we divide by 2, you're going to get the same answer. Okay, so on this triangle, this example I have drawn for you, it's going to look a little bit different. So we have our base right here. Our base is 2. You've got this side that's across from the base, which is 6, and then you've got this right here, which is 3. Now remember, if I'm looking for my height, this right here is not going to be my height, is it? This is across from this corner. This is not my height. My height is the one that always runs perpendicular to the base. So my height would be 3. So for this case, whenever I plug it in, I'm going to have area equals, my base is 2, my height is 3, divided by 2, because it's a triangle. It's always base times height divided by 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my area is 3 inches squared, because our unit is inches. Okay, so now let's look at the trapezoid. So on this one, we have 2 different bases. We have base 1 and base 2. So your formula for this is area equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times your height. So here is my example down here. Here's my base 1. Here's my base 2. Now my height, remember, runs perpendicular to the base. So my height on this example is going to be 2. So let's take our numbers and plug them in. So base 1 is 5. 5 plus base 2 is going to be 3. 5 plus 3 divided by 2 times my height, which is 2. So 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 16. So my area is 16. Oh, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, not 16. I'm sorry. 4 times 2 is 8, and my units is meters squared. And on our last one, we have a compound figure. So on this one, you're going to find the area of whatever figure is inside that shape. This example, we have a rectangle and a triangle. So all you're going to do is you're going to add all of the areas together. So you would find the area of a rectangle by using base times height, or length times width, just like we did up here. Then you're going to find the area of the triangle. Remember, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. You're going to get this area, and you're going to add it to this area, and that's all you do.